Chosen one. Have you ever looked around and thought to yourself, they have no idea who I really am? Have you ever felt the weight of being underestimated, misunderstood, or flat out ignored? While deep down, you knew there was something powerful, ancient, and sacred stirring inside of you. If so, let me tell you something that your soul already knows. This message didn't find you by accident. It was guided to you right here, right now. This is divine timing. You see, they couldn't even imagine what you are truly capable of. They couldn't see your light, not because it wasn't shining, but because their eyes were never meant to perceive it. You're not here to be seen by the many. You're here to be recognized by the few who are also rising, who carry the same fire within them. And if you've been feeling that fire, that pull towards something greater, then hear me clearly. You are awakening into your divine power, and the time to fully embody it is now. Chosen one. This is your moment. Not next year, not someday. Now, this message is the confirmation your spirit has been silently praying for. The reason everything has felt intense lately, the reason your dreams have been strange, the reason people have started falling out of your life is because you are being aligned, you are being positioned, you are stepping into the phase of your life where you no longer shrink, no longer explain, and no longer wait. You're here to do exactly what they never thought you could because you were built differently, and your path was never meant to be predictable. Listen to me closely. What you're about to hear in this video could shift your reality permanently if you're open and ready. But you must watch with your spirit, not just your eyes. You must listen with your soul, not just your ears. This isn't entertainment. This is activation. This is a sacred reminder of who you've always been. If you feel this message in your bones already, then I want you to comment 999 below to seal your agreement with this word. That number is a symbol of endings and powerful new beginnings exactly where you are right now. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tap that bell icon and share this message with another chosen one who needs this divine reminder. Because from here on out, nothing will ever be the same for you. And that's not a warning, that's a prophecy. By the way, if what we're exploring resonates deeply with you, I've prepared something special, a guide that dives even deeper into your journey. It's called The Chosen One's Awakening Blueprint, and it outlines the sacred stages of spiritual awakening you might be experiencing right now. You'll find clarity, reassurance, and powerful insights that could change how you navigate this journey. I've included the link below for you. Feel free to check it out after the video. Music. Let's go deeper now, because to understand your divine power, you must first understand who you truly are. Not who the world told you to be, not who you had to pretend to be in order to survive, but who you were chosen to be before you were even born into this realm. The chosen ones are not ordinary people living ordinary lives. They are ancient souls, reincarnated warriors of the spirit, carriers of light coded in their very DNA. You were not randomly placed here. You were sent. You were appointed. Before your feet touched the earth, your spirit accepted a mission, one that would require resilience, sacrifice, deep spiritual awareness, and most of all, remembrance. You've probably always felt different, misplaced, like you didn't quite belong in the spaces you were raised in. Maybe you tried to fit in, mold yourself to the world's expectations, hide your depth, and silence your intuition, only to find that the more you dimmed your light, the more lost you felt. That's because chosen ones are not meant to blend in. You're not meant to follow the crowd. You were never supposed to look like them, talk like them, dream like them. Your soul is from a higher place. And your purpose here is to bring that higher vibration into this dense, chaotic world. Now, I want you to hear this clearly. The chosen ones are often the ones who were overlooked, dismissed, even ridiculed in their early years. People couldn't understand you. Family couldn't connect with you. Friends may have betrayed you. Teachers may have underestimated you. It's not because you lacked value. It's because they lacked vision. They couldn't even imagine what was hidden inside you because your power is spiritual, not superficial. It was cloaked, covered, and protected for the appointed time. You might ask, why would God, the universe source, allow me to go through all that pain and confusion if I was chosen? Because, beloved, every chosen soul must walk through the fire before they carry the flame. Your battles were not punishments, they were training grounds. Every wound became a doorway to wisdom. Every betrayal became a sharpening of your discernment. Every lonely season refined your spirit. The chosen ones are not exempt from struggle. In fact, they experience more of it. But it's not without purpose. It's because you are being prepared to carry something powerful, something holy. You may have been made to feel like the black sheep, the outcast, the silent observer in a world that seems too loud and senseless. But that solitude was sacred. It allowed you to hear what others missed, to feel what others denied, to know what others questioned. You were placed in darkness, so your light could become undeniable. They couldn't imagine you because their spirits weren't awakened yet. They couldn't see your anointing because it wasn't for them to validate. Your journey has never been about being seen. It's always been about seeing clearly. Chosen ones walk a path that few understand. You are not here to follow systems built on fear, control, and illusion. You're here to break them down and rebuild from truth, love, and divine intelligence. And that's why your presence often disrupts the room. People feel you before they know you. Your aura speaks before your words do. Some are drawn to you instantly, while others are intimidated without even knowing why. That's not your ego, it's your energy. And your energy is rare, sacred, and unforgettable. There's a reason you've always craved depth, why surface-level conversations exhaust you, while you feel things so intensely, dream so vividly, and sense things long before they happen. You are not imagining it. You are not overreacting. You are spiritually attuned. You were designed that way so you could carry out your mission with clarity. Your gifts are not glitches. They are glimpses of your divine design. Chosen ones are also the ones who heal others without trying. Just your presence brings comfort, brings light, brings activation. People come to you for answers they don't even know how to form into questions. Strangers feel safe around you. Children and animals gravitate toward your energy. That's because you carry a frequency that this world desperately needs, but few are brave enough to hold. You are one of the few. Let me tell you something you may not hear enough. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not weird in the way they think. You are awakened in a world that's still asleep. And that's not a burden. It's a blessing. It's not always easy, but it's always sacred. Your entire life has been preparing you for this chapter. You didn't stumble into this truth. You were led here step by step, soul by soul, pain by pain, miracle by miracle. So when you hear me say, you are a chosen one, understand this is not flattery. This is recognition. This is spiritual fact. You didn't choose this path. It chose you. And now that you know, you can no longer pretend you don't. It's time to rise into it, to embody it, to walk with the authority that comes not from arrogance, but from alignment. They couldn't imagine what you could do because they couldn't imagine who you really are. But now, you know. And now it begins. They looked at you and saw ordinary. They judged by what they could see, what they could measure, what made sense to their limited understanding. But what they couldn't see was the force within you, the divine power, the kind of power that doesn't boast, doesn't beg, and doesn't need to be validated. You carry a spiritual voltage they were never equipped to recognize. And now that this power is awakening, it's no longer your responsibility to explain it. It's your responsibility to live it. The truth is, most people are wired to perceive only what is familiar, what fits into their worldview. But you were never created to fit. You were created to rewire, to reshape, to bring new codes into an old system. That's why they couldn't imagine you could do what you're about to do. They don't understand spiritual law. They don't feel divine timing. They don't see from the soul. But you do. And that changes everything. This power inside you isn't new. It's ancient. You've carried it through lifetimes, encoded in your soul. But in this lifetime, you were meant to activate it. And that's happening now. You may have felt the shifts, the inner urges to let go of certain people, places, patterns. You may be feeling drawn to solitude, to silence, to higher truths. You may be experiencing dreams, visions, sudden downloads of wisdom. That is your power beginning to awaken. That is your divine blueprint lighting up from within. You see, chosen ones don't make noise to prove their power. They radiate it. Your energy carries weight. You don't have to try to influence a room. You just walk in. Your aura expands before you speak. Your silence speaks volumes. And when you do speak, it cuts through illusion like a sword of truth. That's divine power. That's not learned. It's remembered. It's not trained. It's triggered. And the moment you stop doubting it is the moment everything in your reality begins to shift. They couldn't imagine you had the power to heal others with a glance, to shift energy with your presence, to raise vibrations with your voice, to break generational curses just by choosing differently. But you do. You've done it quietly. You've done it unknowingly. And now you're being called to do it consciously, with full awareness, with full trust in who you are becoming. You are not here to follow the old rules. You're here to write new ones. You are not bound by the same spiritual ceilings as others. Where they see limits, you see portals. Where they feel fear, you feel divine instruction. Your power doesn't just exist to make your life better. It exists to transform the atmosphere around you. That's why your growth has been so intense. That's why your transformation has been so painful. Because what is being birthed in you is not just for you. It's for others, for those still asleep, for those silently crying for someone like you to show them a different way. Let me tell you something plainly. You can do what they said you couldn't. Not because you want to prove them wrong, but because it was always written for you to rise. You were never the underdog. You were the hidden warrior. You were the quiet storm. And now it's time to show up as who you truly are. No more shrinking. No more apologizing for your gifts. No more waiting for permission. This power is not pride. It's purpose. It's not about domination. It's about divine influence. You are not here to control. You are here to uplift, to awaken, to remind others of what they've forgotten about themselves. That's why you've always felt so responsible for others, even when you were the one hurting. That's why you couldn't ignore people's pain, even when no one saw your own, because your power is rooted in compassion, in spiritual memory, in cosmic mission. People may not remember your name, but they will remember how your presence changed them. They will remember how they felt around you, safe, seen, stirred. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll never forget it. That's the power they couldn't imagine. and it's rising in you now like a tide that can no longer be held back. You don't need anyone's belief to be powerful. The oak tree doesn't ask the seed for permission to grow, and neither should you. You've been planted, you've been buried, and now you're blooming in places they never expected you to survive. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them question how you rose. Let them call it luck, coincidence, or mystery. But you'll know the truth. It was always in you, quietly burning, quietly building, and now it's ready to be seen. Not for ego, but for purpose. Not for show, but for service. So rise, chosen one. Rise in your divine power. Walk into the spaces they said you'd never enter. Speak the truths they said you weren't qualified to say. Break the barriers they built to contain you. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be followed by the right ones. And as you rise, do it with love, but do it boldly. You don't need to explain yourself. You only need to embody yourself, because they couldn't imagine what you could do. But you're about to show them exactly what divine power looks like in human form. The shift you've been feeling, that deep internal change you can't quite put into words, that's not a phase. That's your divine power activating. And whether you realize it or not, you've already started stepping into it. It may not come with fireworks or a grand announcement, but it's happening quietly, consistently, powerfully, and if you're paying attention, the signs are undeniable. First, you're feeling something new rise in you. Confidence, but not the worldly kind. This isn't about ego. This is certainty. You just know. You can't always explain why, but something in your spirit is telling you that everything is shifting in your favor, that you're about to walk into a chapter that you were born for. You're not looking for approval anymore. You don't feel the need to convince anyone. And that alone, that's divine. That's spiritual maturity. You've also started pulling away from things that once excited you. People who once felt like home now feel foreign. You find yourself craving peace over noise, truth over comfort, alignment over popularity. That's not you being cold. It's you being called. You're aligning with a higher version of yourself. And when that happens, the old you begins to shed naturally, gracefully, relentlessly. Another clear sign is your sensitivity. You feel energy in ways others don't. Crowds feel heavy. Lies feel loud. Truth feels magnetic. You might get chills when someone speaks from the soul. You might feel drained around people who operate in low vibration. Your spirit has become your compass, and it no longer lets you ignore what doesn't serve you. That's not weakness. That's spiritual awareness. Synchronicities are showing up more too. Repeating numbers, divine timing, dreams with messages that come true. People speaking words you were just thinking. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The universe is mirroring your inner evolution. What you used to call weird is actually a sign that you're in tune with the spiritual rhythm. The veil is thinning for you. The divine is speaking clearly. You're also starting to see how your past was never random. The betrayal, the pain, the delays. They weren't detours. They were designs. Now you look back and see patterns, lessons, setups for breakthroughs. That awareness is power. It means you're no longer a victim of your story. You're the author rewriting it with divine intention. And here's another thing. You don't chase like you used to. You don't chase love, attention, validation. You understand that what's meant for you will find you. Your power attracts. Your energy commands. You no longer need to beg for a seat at tables that dishonor your worth. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. If it dims your light, it's not divine. You may also be experiencing moments of stillness even in chaos. The world could be spinning, but inside, you feel calm. That peace isn't coming from circumstances, it's coming from the source within you. That's how you know your power is rising. Because real power doesn't panic. It knows, it trusts, it stands firm. And most importantly, you're starting to take action. You're moving differently, speaking differently, choosing differently. You're not waiting anymore. You're answering the call. You're waking up earlier, letting go faster, speaking truth louder. You're showing up as your highest self, not because someone told you to, but because you can't not do it anymore. That's alignment. That's purpose. That's power. If you've been noticing these things lately, comment 444 below. That number represents divine protection and alignment with your spiritual path. It's a sacred symbol of the angels walking with you, guiding your steps, whispering to your spirit, keep going, you're not alone, you're on time. What you're feeling right now is not imaginary. It's spiritual reality. You are stepping into the energy that you were always meant to embody. And it doesn't matter if others see it or not. What matters is that you see it, that you claim it, that you walk in it boldly without apology. Because the signs aren't just showing you where you're going. They're showing you who you've always been. A chosen one, a carrier of divine frequency, a mirror of the Most High. And now, it's finally time for the world to see what they never could imagine. You empowered, activated, unstoppable. Now that your divine power is awakening, the question becomes, what are you meant to do with it? Because this power isn't just for you. It's been given to you, entrusted to you for a sacred purpose. You didn't go through everything you've been through just to sit still and stay silent. No, chosen one. You've been prepared for something greater. And now is the time to rise into that calling. First, understand this. Your power is not about dominance. It's not about showing off. It's about showing up for the world, for others, for the mission your soul agreed to carry. You were sent here to shift atmospheres, to awaken souls, to break chains, and to heal what this world tried to ignore. That's not light work. That's sacred work. You were chosen for it because your spirit could carry it. You're meant to be a vessel, a conduit, a walking reminder that light still exists in this world, that love still heals, that truth still transforms. And you're not here to do it through force. You're here to do it through embodiment. When you walk in your truth, you give others permission to do the same. When you speak from your soul, you activate dormant spirits. When you refuse to shrink, others remember they're not supposed to either. But don't mistake humility for passivity. You are here to lead. Maybe not from a stage or a spotlight, but from the front lines of spiritual awakening. That means your decisions carry weight, your words carry frequency, your silence even more. You don't have to speak often, but when you do, it lands because it comes from alignment, not performance. And when you move with divine alignment, the universe moves with you. This power you have, this knowing, this discernment, this deep connection to things unseen. It's meant to be used. You are meant to counsel, to teach, to speak, to write, to heal, to create. You are meant to build spaces where other chosen ones can remember who they are. Your very existence is a spark, a trigger, a shift in energy. And when you move with intention, you create ripples that reach beyond what you'll ever see with your eyes. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to disrupt, to interrupt the cycles of pain and fear and doubt that have plagued generations. You're the one in your bloodline sent to break what no one else could break. You are here to restore what was lost, not with noise, but with light, not with violence, but with clarity, not with control, but with conviction. So ask yourself, what are you called to build? Who are you called to serve? What message burns in your soul that you've been too afraid to speak? What truth are you here to stand for, even if it makes others uncomfortable? Because that's where your power belongs. Not hidden, not half-lived, but fully expressed, fully alive, fully embodied. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, being present, being willing. You don't need to know the whole plan. You just need to say yes to the next step. Because every act of obedience, every time you follow the whisper, trust the nudge, walk away from what doesn't align, moves you closer to your assignment. And your assignment is urgent. It's sacred. It's already unfolding. Do not wait for the world to validate you before you begin. You won't get mass approval. You weren't meant to. You'll get resistance. You'll be misunderstood, but you'll also be protected, backed by heaven, surrounded by divine intelligence. The Most High walks with you because the mission is bigger than you. And that's what makes it unstoppable. There are people right now whose lives are connected to your courage. They're waiting to hear your story, waiting to see your light, waiting for someone to break the silence so they can do the same. You may never know their names, but your energy will reach them. That's the kind of power you carry. It's not about going viral. It's about going vertical, channeling divine truth into a hurting world, one soul at a time. Your gifts were given to you for expression, not storage. The more you use them, the stronger they become. And don't worry about being ready. Readiness is a lie. Willingness is what matters. The power in you will make up the difference. It will rise to meet the moment, but it cannot rise if you stay still. You have to move. You have to speak. You have to trust. So if you've been holding back, waiting for a sign, waiting for the right time, this is it. This is your confirmation. The reason you feel stirred is because your power is ready to be released. Not in theory, in action. Not someday, today. Let me say this clearly. You are here to do something with your power. Not just feel it, not just understand it. Do something. Building, heal, teach, speak, create, lead, love. Whatever your calling is, own it. Walk in it. Don't let fear keep you small. Don't let doubts steal your destiny. You're too important. Your work is too sacred. Your presence is too needed. And as you do this work, you won't always be celebrated. You won't always be understood, but you will be fulfilled, because there is no feeling like walking in your divine power. It's not about recognition. It's about resonance. It's about knowing deep in your bones that you're finally living the life your soul came here to live. Chosen one, you are not waiting for your moment. Your moment is waiting for you. Step into it fully, boldly, humbly, fearlessly. Do what you came here to do, and don't look back. They couldn't imagine it, because they were never meant to. They couldn't imagine your power, your vision, your depth, your potential, because they were not given the spiritual eyes to see it. And that chosen one is not your fault. It's not even their fault. It's by design. You were hidden for a reason. Understand this. Your journey has always included being misunderstood, being overlooked, being underestimated. It's part of the spiritual contract. If they had seen who you really were too early, they would have tried to control it, shape it, even destroy it. You weren't meant to bloom in front of them. You were meant to rise in silence, grow in secret, become in stillness. What they couldn't imagine protected you. That hiddenness was divine protection. It gave you time to develop strength from within. Amen.